Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has dismissed allegations that he is behind defections from opposition parties to the ruling All Progressive Congress, insisting that he neither coerced nor pressured anyone to abandon their political platforms. The president made the remark during an interfaith iftar with senators at the presidential villa, where he addressed claims that his administration is working to weaken opposition parties. Responding to critics, Tinubu said such critics are entitled to their opinions, rejecting accusations of wrongdoing. The ongoing dispute between labor unions and the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has entered its seventh day as members of Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC Trade Union Congress, TUC, and the Food, Beverage and Tobacco Senior Staff Association staged a demonstration at the agency's Isolo office in Lagos. Protesters chanting, "No work for us, no work for us," blocked access to the office, preventing staffs from entering the premises for nearly 2 hours. Operations were temporarily suspended until officers from the Nigerian Police Force Odiolowo Division intervened, reopening the entrance. The protests remained peaceful with no reports of violence. Meanwhile, organized labor in the Federal Public Service has issued a Friday deadline to the federal government demanding the immediate release of funds to settle 3 months outstanding wage awards and other pending allowances owed to workers across ministries, departments, and agencies. The leadership of the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council convened the ultimatum in a letter addressed to the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, warning that failure to meet February 27, 2026 deadline will compel the 8 unions in the civil service to take decisive action. The unions accused the government of withholding funds meant for workers, alleging that relevant agencies were prepared to process payment once the Ministry of Finance released the required funds. The Senate Committee on Finance has issued a warrant of arrest against the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, Hussaini Iswak Magaji, over his alleged repeated refusal to honor invitations to appear before the committee. The warrant was issued during budget defense session involving the Federal Ministry of Finance and its agencies. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Musa, accused the CAC boss of serially disregarding legislative summons and failing to account for issues relating to the Commission's revenue. Concern is mounting in Nigeria's political space ahead of 2027 elections following allegations of an assassination attempt on former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. A member of the House of Representatives on the platform of the African Democratic Congress, Peter Uzokwe, has called for an immediate investigation against the materialization of politics. National Assembly correspondent Anete Patrick reports.
As political activities gradually intensify ahead of 2027, fresh tensions have emerged over alleged threats to opposition figures. A lawmaker of the African Democratic Congress, Peter Uzokwe, has called on the acting Inspector General of Police and other security agencies to investigate what he described as an assassination attempt on former presidential candidate Peter Obi. The lawmaker insists Nigeria must not return to an era of political violence.
When Peter Obi went to Edo State last year, you had the governor. Did you hear the governor? That he cannot guarantee the security of Peter Obi. Did you hear it? Yes. He made that statement in the national television that if Peter Obi comes to Edo State without telling him, whatever he sees, he takes.
He also called on the governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebolo, as chief security officer of the state to ensure the safety of all political actors, regardless of party affiliation. The lawmaker also demanded for a transparent and independent investigation into the issue with a view to identify and prosecute anyone found culpable. While emphasizing that security is the primary responsibility of government at all levels, The lawmaker urged Nigerians to remain calm but vigilant, stressing that democracy must be protected. From the National Assembly, Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
Ahead of the National Convention of the All Progressive Congress, APC, the North Central APC Forum has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ensure the election of credible national officers for the party during the exercise. In a statement signed by its chairman Saleh Zagzaga, the North Central APC Forum said it is imperative that the party begins consultations towards electing distinguished personalities with proven track records and experience to fill all the positions in the working committee, including the position of national chairman. The APC National Convention is scheduled to hold between 27th and 28th March 2026. National officers of the party who will form the National Working Committee, NWC, are to be elected at the convention. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has described the death of Senator Baranada Bingi as painful loss to Rivers State and the nation. Wike spoke in London during a condolence visit to the family of the late lawmaker. Kabir Hassan reports.
Late Senator, who represented Rivers South East Senatorial District, died last week at the age of 64 after a brief illness. Leading a delegation of Rivers political leaders, the minister condoled with the widow and children of the deceased, describing the late Piggy as a dependable ally and a strong pillar in the state political landscape.
Thick and thin. It's very, very unfortunate that this is the period we really needed the husband to be around. No, that Barry is no longer with us. It's a day, it is what we call a great loss, not only to the Ogoni, not only to the state, but to Nigeria as a whole.
Responding on behalf of the family, the widow expressed appreciation for the visit and support shown by the delegation.
It's lower. I'm still expecting him, truly. Truly, I'm still expecting a very big kettle. Because this was not what we discussed. Come to terms with us. Maybe when I see him lower than I will that's over. Truly is dead.
The minister assured the family of continued solidarity as preparations begin for the burial of the late senator. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has reaffirmed Nigerians' commitment to strengthening bilateral ties with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia through enhanced cooperation in media, cooperation, economy, and security. The minister made this known while receiving the ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to Nigeria, Yusuf bin Mohammed Al Balawi, and his delegation at the headquarters of the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in Abuja. Sadia Yakubu was there for Global TV.
Welcoming the ambassador, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, described the visit as a strategic move to deepen institutional collaboration between both nations. He stressed that Nigeria values its long-standing relationship with Saudi Arabia and remains committed to expanding cooperation among critical sectors. The minister disclosed that Nigeria has endorsed 3 key memorandum of understanding proposed by Saudi authorities to boost collaboration in media and communication. According to him, the agreements are expected to enhance professional exchanges, promote balanced information flow, and strengthen media diplomacy between the 2 countries.
The Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation is happy to announce that we have already put our signature to 3 MOUs that were proposed by the Saudi government.
Earlier, Ambassador Yusuf bin Mohammed Al Balawi conveyed Saudi Arabia's readiness to strengthen collaboration with Nigeria in strategic sectors including the economy, security, media and political relations. He He reaffirmed his country's commitment to supporting Nigerian pilgrims and revealed ongoing efforts to improve connectivity and cooperation for the benefit of citizens of both nations.
Also, I want to add something very important for the Muslim people here in Nigeria. We will continue to serve all Nigerian people who want to go Umrah and Hajj. I have a good news also. Maybe inshallah the Saudi Airlines will restart the flight from Jeddah to Abuja.
Nigeria and Saudi Arabia said they would continue to build on their shared values and mutual interest, with renewed commitment expected to translate into tangible gains for both countries. From Abuja, Sadia Yakubu, Global Television News.
The federal government says effective communication is critical to the success of ongoing public service reforms, warning that lack of clarity can trigger resistance among citizens. Minister of Information and National Orientation Muhammad Idris stated this while receiving the Director General of the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, Dasuki Ibrahim Arabi, and his management team in Abuja. Again, here is Sadia Yakubu's report.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, commended the Bureau's efforts in driving institutional reforms, highlighting the designation of public financial management as a major milestone that has improved transparency, reduced leakages, and strengthened accountability across MDAs. Idris emphasized the need for attitudinal change alongside structural reforms, noting that national orientation remains key to promoting patriotism and civic responsibility. He further disclosed plans to digitize Nigeria's archival system to preserve institutional memory, while calling for improved media and information literacy to tackle misinformation, an emerging threat for artificial intelligence.
As Minister of Information and National Orientation, we firmly believe that reform must not only be implemented, it must also be effectively communicated. Where reforms are not properly understood, it creates a big problem of understanding for people, and therefore the collaboration that we need to have between yourselves and this ministry is very, very important, so that Nigerians will understand that this is for the greater good of all of them.
Earlier, Director General of the Bureau, Dasuki Ibrahim Arabi, said the visit was to strengthen collaboration and accelerate reform communication. He outlined key reform priorities, including improved governance, digital financial systems, and increased citizen engagement. Arabi noted that digitization has helped eliminate ghost workers and improve payroll integrity, while urging MDAs to comply with the Freedom of Information Act through proactive disclosure.
To support the work of information management at the federal level, our Bureau had run quite a number of capacity development programs for information officers, working with development partners, especially European Union, World Bank, the FCDO, which is the former DFID, to train government officials on how to manage information.
The federal government says it will sustain effort to ensure reforms are not only implemented, but clearly understood, as transparency and public trust remains key to national development. From Abuja, Sadia Yakubu for Global Television News.
The Federal Ministry of Environment has organized a peer learning workshop on sub-national climate governance performance rating and ranking for honorable commissioners for environment across Nigeria. Our environment correspondent Obong Osoro reports takes it from there.
The workshop brought together state commissioners for environment and key stakeholders to strengthen climate governance at the sub-national level. Director of the Department of Climate Change in Yobong, Abiola Awe, said the initiative provides a platform for states to showcase their achievements in the climate space, while also promoting healthy competition, accountability, and measurable performance.
Tangible progress happens at the state and local levels. This community of practice is therefore designed to serve as a structured technical platform to bridge policies and practice.
The training was facilitated by Professor Chukwu Okereke, Executive Director of Partnership for Agile Governance and Climate Engagement, PACE, who highlighted practical framework for assessing climate performance and strengthening institutional capacity at the state level.
Our policies about climate change have focused on the national level, and for a very long time, states were ignored. The Society for Planet and Prosperity, in collaboration with the Department for Climate Change, Federal Ministry of Environment, came up with a unique initiative to promote climate action at the state level.
The chairman of the Environment Commissioners Forum of Nigeria, Nura Kazore, and Commissioner for Environment Jigawa State commended the ministry for convening the workshop, describing it as timely and impactful.
At the end of this, we should have a tailored training program as part of capacity building. One, we are expecting a trust-based networking amongst us that will be relating very well. And then we are going to ensure that we adopt and implement all climate action measures.
The event also featured technical presentation, peer review sessions aimed at improving climate governance performance nationwide. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Partey, and his team have begun free cancer screening for the first 1,000 individuals at the Alex Ekweme Federal University Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki. The minister, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Daju Kalum, said the event was a nationwide exercise to mark the 2026 World Cancer Day, adding that the disease accounts for nearly 10,000 deaths annually in Nigeria. He disclosed the ministry's plan to offer treatment to patients diagnosed during the screening, stressing that early detection saves lives, reduces financial hardship for families, and improves national productivity. You are watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Thank you for joining us. Now, in the past few days, dust haze has significantly reduced visibility in the north and some sections of the north central region. The good news is that visibility has improved slightly. However, fresh dust is still being transported into the country from the source region. And with that, areas like Katsina, Kano, Yobe, Jigawa, parts of Bauchi, and Niger State should expect moderate dust haze with visibility in the range of 2 to 5 kilometers. Other parts of the north and north central conditions will be slightly dusty, not as intense as these areas. Down south, the inland cities will experience a hazy atmosphere with some cloud cover. But as the day progresses, this cloud buildup is expected to increase, and there is a good chance of thunderstorms in parts of Lagos, Ondo, Ogun, Edo, Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom states. With the dust particles in suspension in the atmosphere, our airline operators are encouraged to visit our eFlight folder portal for the latest weather updates. And if you're sensitive to dust particles, please take necessary precaution. I am Theodora Itum. Thank you for watching.
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is AM News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a fresh 1-year extension of the ban on the export of raw shea nuts. The renewed directive was disclosed in an official statement issued by the president's spokesman, Bayo Ononuga. Ononuga stated that the ban came into effect on February 26, 2026 through to February 25, 2027. noting that the ban shows the federal government's determination to strengthen domestic value addition and reposition Nigeria's share industry for higher export earnings through processed products. The federal government says it is strengthening policy and regulatory frameworks in the solid minerals sector to attract global investment and improve Nigeria's competitiveness in mining. The Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, Farouk Yabo, stated this during a stakeholders workshop aimed at assessing Nigerians' compliance with the African Mineral Governance Framework in Abuja. He said the engagement served as an integration platform for Nigeria as it sought stronger participation in continental and global mining ecosystem. Nigerian crude oil traded above $70 per barrel, suppressing the federal government's 2026 budget benchmark of $64.85 amid heightened geopolitical tensions. Bonny Light was priced at about $71 per barrel, slightly down from $72.30 recorded. The grade, known for its light and sweet quality due to low sulfur content and high API gravity, remains attractive for refining into premium products such as diesel and petrol. And on foreign news now, senior United States and Ukraine officials have begun meeting in Geneva to discuss efforts to negotiate an end to the war. Now in its fifth year, Kyiv's top negotiator has said. In a post on X, Rustem Umerov, leader of the Ukrainian delegation, said his four-person team had begun meeting with the U.S. delegation, including Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner, in a Swift city. Umerov said the two sides would discuss post-war reconstruction and preparations for the next meeting with Russia, where they hope to achieve a breakthrough in the U.S.-led effort to negotiate an end to the war. Australia's former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull says ditching the British monarchy is more important than ever. In an interview, Turnbull insisted that voters would likely back a head of state elected by its parliament, while criticizing a trilateral security partnership between Australia, the United Kingdom and the United States. Uyi Agbomofuegbe tells us more.
Turnbull, who served as Prime Minister from 2015 to 2018, led the country's Republic movement's unsuccessful 1999 referendum bid to replace the British monarchy with an Australian head of state. Almost 3 decades on from that poll, and as the British monarchy reels from the arrest of ex-Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the first of a royal in the modern era, Turnbull said an elected head of state could heal Australia's tribal politics.
The virtue of having a republic in Australia is that it emphasises the thing we have in common as Australians. So instead of being in our own little identity group, when there are so many nowadays, focusing on our identity as Australians in all of our cultural, ethnic, religious, diversity, but nonetheless, it focuses on those common civic values that we share. And I think that's why a republic's more important than ever.
Australia was a British colony for more than 100 years, gaining de facto independence in 1901. The country has, however, never become a fully fledged republic. Current Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has issued a full-throated call for Andrew to be removed from the royal line of succession. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
United States Justice Department has announced the arrest of a former Air Force fighter pilot who allegedly trained Chinese military personnel without authorization. The department in a statement said Gerald Brown, age 65, was arrested in Indiana after having recently returned to the United States from China, where he had been since December 2023. Gerald is accused of having conspired with foreign nationals to provide combat aircraft training to pilots in the Chinese Air Force without a required license from the United States Department. In sports, Team Edo has maintained dominance in ongoing second edition of the Niger Delta Games with 50 gold, 30 silver and 22 bronze. The team's medal haul came from all events, with athletes going beyond their limits to cement the team's place on the medal table. In swimming, Edo's athletes broke a 24-year medal drought, delivering a series of remarkable podium finishes. 15 players are now in Super Falcons camp in Yaoundé for the international friendlies against the indomitable Lioness of Cameroon. The latest arrivals are Rinsila Babajide, Shukurat Oladipo, Folashade Ijimelisin, and Kafayat Shitu. The Super Falcons opened camp on Wednesday with 11 players. Juventus are ready to splash around €120 million on Victor Osimhen. The club, who had attempted to sign the Nigerian international before he joined Galatasaray 2 years ago. Osimhen recently expressed his admiration for the Serie A giants and labeled them one of the most important clubs in football history and one where he could enjoy playing and feel he belongs. And that's it on AM News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @GlobalTVNG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Up next is Global Morning. Stay tuned.